Welcome to Talking Politics. I am Paul Gable. I'm here with my good friend and co-host John Bond Sr. And today we are hosting Julie Samples, who's a candidate for mayor in the upcoming Surfside Beach election. We'll be back in a moment. Studio at 605C North Kings Highway in Myrtle Beach. We have Julie Samples. We'd like to welcome you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You're a candidate for mayor in Surfside Beach now, and I know, half the council or something like that decided not to run again.
That's the truth.
Surfside Beach has always been an interesting town to cover, although I haven't been down there for a while. But tell us what prompted you to get into the mayor's race.
Well, thanks for asking, and thanks for having me here. I actually served on council in the 2016-18 two-year open seat that became available by our current mayor. And I served for 2 years. I loved it. It was a great experience, but it was frustrating. I felt that I could not get anything accomplished. And so I stepped off, decided not to run for re-election to council with the full intention of running for mayor.
Well, what did you like to see happen when you were sitting there for the 2 years? It didn't happen and frustrated you. What was that?
It was frustrating to me that we were not more communicative to our town residents. We did not communicate as well as I thought we needed to.
How would you communicate with them if you believed that the town wasn't doing it?
Well,
wasn't town meetings one of the way in communicating with the residents?
It is, but it is one way, but we have maybe 40, 50 people show up for council meetings. The majority of our residents really do not know what's going on in the town of Surfside Beach. When I was on council, I attempted to have our meetings live streamed.
Live stream, oh, wow.
Live streaming and video recorded so we could at least upload them immediately to the town website and the town Facebook page.
That's a good.
But to live stream, put them on our public access channels so everyone who lives in town but who also owns property in town, we have a lot of second homeowners, could see what was happening within their community. It was an attempt on my part that failed. I felt that council could not see the vision. That was one of the frustrations for me, that I felt that we just didn't have enough vision.
Well, there's the business people feel that the council's empty business. Mm-hmm. The businessmen are not comfortable with what the council has been doing. How are we going to change that?
And some of the residents think you're anti-resident.
True that, too.
It's an interesting situation in Surfside Beach.
And the people,
that's why she's running. She wants us to change all of that.
I really do. We have a lot of passionate people in the town of Surfside Beach. We are a small community. And the smaller the community, sometimes the more personal the politics.
Oh, yeah.
And so going back to the communication and the misinformation, if you do not tell people the story, if you do not communicate to them what you're doing and why you're doing it, you allow them to create their own story, to create their own narrative.
That's
and
true.
Most of the time, it is fraught with inconsistencies and misinformation. And so, thus, the live streaming. In addition to that, by the way, I do want to put out a monthly bulletin of action items, things that the town has discussed, voted on, changed, things that they're getting ready to discuss, vote on, and change. All too often, council makes decisions as it relates to ordinances, laws, and the public, they don't know about it.
That's true.
And so I want to put out a monthly bulletin. But in response to your question about the businesses, we've always been known as being unfriendly to businesses.
That's true, absolutely.
And everyone talks about the fact that we need to be business friendly. I think we need to be I think we need to encourage our businesses, new businesses, existing businesses. And let me tell you what happens. If you want to open up a business in the town of Surfside Beach, you are immediately met with a clerk. And the clerk is going to say to you, oh, sorry,
You can't have that.
we can't have
You
that.
can't have that. The
That
clerk takes
type
that
of
attitude.
business
It's-
is not
it's
allowed
bad.
in our
It's a black
town.
eye for the town.
Based on maybe an ordinance that is archaic, that hasn't been reviewed
Well, then change it.
in 20 years. I think any businessman coming to the town of Surfside Beach needs to immediately meet with our town administrator.
But you know, you're stymied oftentimes because everything goes to the city administrator. He runs the town basically, so you were just sitting there being a legislative body. I always thought that a mayoral type of a government was better. What are you doing that for? What are you doing that for? What's wrong with you?
Note, we have to take a break.
You having a neck crick or something? You bow down? Don't bow to me. I don't need you to bow to me.
We have hit our first time for
we
a
do?
commercial.
Okay, there you
but
go.
I must add, John,
Oh, come on,
it's quite
stop it.
interesting that
But
now
you
you
said-
want to change the form of government in Surfside Beach as part of the show. We'll be back in a
You told me
moment.
to stop.
I did.
Hey man, I'm on my way to the finest place for everyone to play, where the drinks are cool and the sun is hot, and the Myrtle's Inlet's Marsh Walk.
Enjoy spectacular waterfront dining and live music with breathtaking saltwater marsh views at the Murrells Inlet Marsh Walk. Marsh Walk, where the view, the music, and the fun are always free. Marsh Walk, Highway 17 Business, Waterfront, Murrells Inlet.
P. Reynolds by the Ocean is a restaurant and live performance space with an open jazz jam every Thursday at 6 p.m. Are you looking for something special, something new, something different on the Grand Strand? Great food, cool jazz. You'll find it only at P. Reynolds Jazz Supper Club, located at 1212 North Kings Highway in Myrtle Beach. P. Reynolds by the Ocean, something special in Myrtle Beach.
My name is Angelo Antonucci, and I'd like to welcome you to my restaurant. I've been in Myrtle Beach now for over 30 years, and we are the home of the greatest steaks in the universe. Here at Angelo's, we have a fantastic Italian buffet with your favorite pastas served with meatballs and sausage and delicious gourmet pizzas. But where we really shine is our entrees like our scampi traditional, Alfredo or lemon romano served over linguine, our French pork chops with garlic mashed potatoes, and our twin fillets featuring our signature marsala sauce. It's a great place to enjoy with family and friends, so stop by and see us at our new location at the corner of 24th Avenue South and South Kings Highway. Don't just take my word for it. Come in and try Angelo's, home of the greatest steaks in the universe.
Here at Angelo's.
Hi, I'm Bob Hillier, and I'm running for mayor here in Surfside Beach. As you know, the slogan of my campaign is Residents First, and that's exactly what I want to do. I want to put the residents first, I want to open up the transparency, and I want to get the citizens involved in what's going on in our town. And just like you, I'm not privy to all the information. With less than 2 weeks before the election, I humbly ask for your vote on November 5th. Please go out and vote so that we can put residents first and bring transparency back into our town.
Welcome back. We're here in our studio in Myrtle Beach. We have Julie Samples, a candidate for mayor in next week's Surfside Beach election. And for all of you who are registered voters, not only in Surfside Beach, but in any city in Horry County, show up at the polls next week and vote. You have city
But
elections.
we have Julie here, and she's interested in Surfside. So please go out, vote in Surfside.
November 5th.
Now okay, November 5th.
Thank
Did
you.
you hear that, Paul? November 5th.
Thank
Look
you.
at him. Look at him. Doesn't he look like a Buddha? Look, sitting there like a Buddha. But anyway, Julie, I mentioned something before we had the break, and then Paul interrupted me, as he always does, about having a form of government, have the mayor be the responsible party to run the government, like in other major cities that we have around the country.
Well, that's a great idea if you have a good mayor.
Well, what about you?
I think in our community where we have such passionate people and people are involved in our government, there would be a lot of opposition to having a strong mayor form of government
Opposition by whom?
by the people in our
Give them a
town.
chance. Let them vote on it.
Well, there certainly could be a referendum, but I just don't see that happening in our town. People like that.
Well, you say you want to get them
government.
involved. He said get them involved. They're not getting involved.
Is it safe to say that you're not running on a platform of changing the form of government in Surfside
That is
Beach?
a safe assumption.
Thank you. Now, maybe we can get off that point and back to
It's not gonna
Surfside Beach.
happen.
You were talking
Well,
about Surfside
See,
Beach's...
He does it again.
Surfside Beach's reputation, I guess we
Yes.
can say, of being not business friendly. And like I said, you got some residents, they'll tell you it's not resident friendly, and I'm not sure
Right.
what it's friendly to, but it's friendly to friendlies maybe. But seriously, go back to where you were with the businesses and what you think should happen with the business that wants to come to Surfside Beach.
Let me be clear. We're a small town. I'm all about quality businesses more than I am about quantity. We're not going to see a big box store in our town, and quite frankly, don't want to see a big box store in our town. But when you are considering opening up a business and you come into town hall, you need to talk to someone who has some real authority in town, who can tell you, well, here's a current ordinance. It doesn't necessarily accommodate you, but talk to me about what you want to do, and let's see how we can make it happen. It's called encouraging a business, and not just putting up walls and say, sorry, we can't make that happen.
Well, I can understand that you don't want the big box stores there. Emanate a lot of traffic and confusion. But you're going to have, it's on the drawing boards now, in the future, you're going to have a development of $30 million development in Surfside. So that's a positive, that's good. It's going to bring in some added revenue to the coffers of the town. Are you thinking at any point in time where you want to increase, or you want the limits of the town government, Surfside Beach? Would you want, you're only about 3 square miles or so?
We are 2 square mile.
2 square miles.
And I believe the word you may be looking for is annexation.
That's what I'm saying.
And in the town of Surfside Beach, there's always been lots of discussion about annexation, whether it be residential, commercial. We have never had any interest in annexing the residential portion. There has been discussions about annexing businesses further up 17. And the benefit to the town of doing that would be more tax revenue. But what's interesting is that when this discussion was brought up a number of years ago, the businesses didn't want to come into town because Surfside's too heavily regulated, in their opinion. So annexation only works if both parties want to participate. And in the case of businesses along the 17 corridor that are not part of the town of Surfside Beach have shown no interest. Keeping in mind, too, that we are a small town. And if we talk about annexation, we're talking about adding to our level of services. And that is something that would require not only both parties to agree upon, but we would need to determine whether it's for the greater good.
I do like it. You said you're not interested in annexing residential, and that's because really you never get the cost of services out of residential
really don't?
annexation.
Well
It costs money.
It costs money. That's exactly right. And honestly, in our town, we have a level of service that I believe is unmatched. We provide a lot of service to our residents. We don't want that to change.
But if you bring
They like it.
businesses in, it helps. It helps the stream of taxes. You get people come into the area. You have businesses such as auto mechanic, restaurants. You also have those beach carts that are there. So they add to it, and they add to your monies that go into the coffer through taxes, sales taxes, etc. But it's your show. It's not my show, not his show. So we're going to ask you if you want to put down right now your marker as to what are the big issues that you want to see and what you're going to look at and what you want to do. What would be the 3? You're going to stop again? You're going to
We got to take another break.
He loves doing this. He loves doing this.
Well, you always get into these involved
doing
things
this.
right at the end. I don't
What's
want her.
involved is
I don't
we're on
want
a
her to
show,
be
man.
broken
You're
up by a
right.
break. I want to break you up by a break. So we'll
I
be
want
back
to
in a
hear her
moment.
not.
P. Reynolds by the Ocean is a restaurant and live performance space with an open jazz jam every Thursday at 6 p.m. Are you looking for something special, something new, something different on the Grand Strand? Great food, cool jazz. You'll find it only at P. Reynolds Jazz Supper Club, located at 1212 North Kings Highway in Myrtle Beach. P. Reynolds by the Ocean, something special in Myrtle Beach.
Hey man, I'm on my way to the finest place for everyone to play, where the drinks are cool if the sun is hot, and the Myrtle's Inlet Marsh Walk.
Enjoy spectacular waterfront dining and live music with breathtaking saltwater marsh views at the Murrells Inlet Marsh Walk. Marsh Walk, where the view, the music, and the fun are always free. Marsh Walk, Highway 17 Business, Waterfront, Murrells Inlet.
Striving for excellence is what we all do. After 10,000 hours of practice and preparation, we become experts at our crafts. Our skills become a manifestation of our talents, and our service becomes sought after.
We are the professionals, taking care of the details. The Professionals, mobile detailing and car cleaning specialist. Taking pride in what we do so you can take pride in what we do for you.
Hi, I'm Bob Hillier, and I'm running for mayor here in Surfside Beach. As you know, the slogan of my campaign is Residents First, and that's exactly what I want to do. I want to put the residents first, I want to open up the transparency, and I want to get the citizens involved in what's going on in our town. I have a lot of people asking me if I am funding my own campaign, and the answer to that is yes, absolutely. This is an investment that I am willing to make in our town so that we have no special interest or private entities helping us make our decisions. I want to improve the quality of life for everybody, and I want to put the residents first. So with your help, I think that we can do that, and I humbly ask for your vote on November 5th.
Well, welcome back. We have Julie Samples, a candidate for mayor in Surfside Beach. John was going into asking Julie before the break about what are her number 1, 2, 3 goals or whatever that you would like to accomplish as mayor. So now we'll let you answer.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, and thanks for the question, John, I want to build confidence back in our town government. We've lost a lot of confidence. I want to build that back. I want to improve upon the communication between town government, residents, businesses, second homeowners. And the biggest priority, quite frankly, is the rebuild of our pier. We've not talked about the pier. It is going to be an effort that is going to create a lot of strife in our town, because once the demolition begins, it's going to be a mess down there.
Yeah.
They're telling us that it's going to take 18 months to rebuild. You know as well as I do, it's going to be a 2-year project.
Or more.
Or more, with contract modifications after contract modifications. I'm concerned about the
How about
financial
funding?
impact.
Where's the funding coming from?
Well, we were fortunate enough to get a good chunk of promise from FEMA, almost $10 million to rebuild the pier portion, and it's going to be concrete, it's going to be 10 feet higher, it's going to be great. But the town has got to rebuild the buildings.
Did you say a promise from FEMA?
Well, it's a grant, so
So you got the grant? Is that?
we have the grant,
Okay,
but
so-
it will be a reimbursable type of grant. So we're going to have to pay portions, and then they will reimburse us. And FEMA's been great about reimbursing us in the past, but but the town still has to pay the bill and then get reimbursed by FEMA. Then we have buildings that we need to rebuild on the pier. And that's the responsibility of the town of Surfside Beach, not FEMA. This will ultimately wind up being a $14 to $15 million bill.
And how are we going to raise that
So
money?
4 to 5 million is going to come from you guys.
4 to 5
Was
million is
that
going to come
through
to us.
Through bond?
This current council, yes, agreed to a GO bond of $4 million. to assist us in rebuilding those buildings. And also, it'll be available for cash flow while we're building the pier portion.
But you have the excess in the tax revenue to pay that bond back, or will it take a tax increase?
No, it should not take a tax increase. We are hopeful with the amount of payments that we're going to get from the leases on the pier, that we're going to be able to pay that back comfortably.
You're thinking about putting maybe possibly a special district, and you can do it in that fashion? Whether you get the resources through that special district taxes, et cetera?
That is certainly an option, but doubtful if we will take that approach. With the 3 new buildings coming on the pier, one we know is a restaurant, one's going to be bait and tackle, and there's going to be a 2,400 square foot new building that will hopefully generate, when the town decides what the purpose of that building is going to be used for. That hasn't happened yet.
Well, what do you think it should be used for?
One of my suggestions has been an event space. We have no event space in the town of Surfside. We're on the beach. We have all kinds of weddings. There's all kinds of opportunities to put on events.
So a catering hall, basically.
I think something like that could net a lot of revenue. However, there are people that are talking about a fine dining restaurant as well. That's a decision, by the way, this new council is going to have to
But you have a restaurant already there, right? You said that you're going to have a restaurant, you have a tackle place, and now this...
Well, you got Bill Howard's place there as well.
Yeah, you have the surf diner that is still planning to come back. And there's certainly room for more.
Nothing wrong with that, but it's not
Yeah.
fine dining.
That's not fine dining, exactly.
Yeah, but...
Well, the point, are you going to put out
fine dining is not going
bids?
to do it.
Absolutely.
You'll put out bids.
Absolutely.
And you'll entertain various types of businesses as well as a bid for a business.
And let me be clear, this is a publicly owned pier. The people in the town of Surfside Beach
How's
own this
parking
pier.
there? How's
They're the
parking?
ones that are going to have to make the decision.
What about parking? How's parking?
Parking is always a concern at the pier area.
People didn't like the meters.
Well,
Remember when
they were
Ron's-
littered,
Ron-
they were cluttered, they looked horrible down there. It really,
Well, Smith was for it when he was a councilman.
he was, some council people were
He
for
was,
it.
yeah, he was fighting for it.
He
thought it
was,
would
but
bring it-
the public didn't like it. The residents didn't like it.
But
And
you
they
have a-
became
you have a-
problematic.
You have a problem all the time with parking. You get saturated at times.
We have a problem 3 to 4 months out of the year.
But how are you going to handle the parking there? Are you going to be considering that?
When
You're
the-
going to be looking into that?
During demolition of the pier,
You're going to have a study maybe?
there's going to be a problem with parking during the demolition of the
absolutely,
pier.
sure.
Which is why this current council purchased 2 lots to create a new parking lot to help with the fact that the pier parking lot's not going to be available.
Uh-huh. Well, the other thing that always interests me with respect to the town, the activities that you have for recreation.
Mm-hmm.
Your recreation activities, you have that little league park and so forth, and those kids go out there and they love it.
Yeah.
Are you going to, what about the police? I have 3 things for you, police,
Mm-hmm.
recreation, and transportation. Would you be tackling them, and how would you be doing it?
Yes, I do have a plan for transportation and parking. And I would like to enter into and consider a public-private partnership.
That's good. Good
Yes,
enterprise.
we have options. We just need to think outside the box. That's an overused term, but it's
It is that, yes.
But it is the truth. We're a small town, and we need to look to other opportunities in areas where we can improve upon the services and function of the town, and getting people to and from the beach.
And recreation?
Recreation, we have a great events coordinator. We do a lot of things in Surfside Beach, and would like to do more.
Okay, emergency services, police, fire?
Public safety is unmatched.
Are you going to look forward to, the police are looking forward for a raise, is that in the?
Our police
in the future?
department just had a raise, they had bonuses. What has not happened is our fire department, and I'm advocating for them to have increases.
How about EMT, emergency service?
Which is part of our fire department.
Oh, do you have it all included?
It's
Okay.
all combined, yes.
Okay, so basically, you have a program that you would like to see enacted, and you just explained the 3 important priorities that you have. Do you see any problems that are existing today that you believe can be solvable under your administration?
Absolutely. I want to, again, improve communication, let the public know what's going on. And I also want to be very mindful of our spending, considering that we're getting ready to build a $14 to $15 million pier. We have got to be mindful of where our money is going, and we need to concentrate on the needs, for sure, and the wants are just going to have to wait.
You finally got something done on 17 Business. They're constructing that. Holy cow, that was a nightmare,
happening.
trying to
It's
get
happening.
a service road into the main 17 Business, 17 Business into service road. It was so confusing. You had so many accidents, et cetera, there.
So many.
It was really unfair.
And I wish we were underground wiring 17.
Well, but you didn't do it. You scrapped that plan.
I did not support that.
They scrapped the plan.
Yeah.
That would have been. He's telling me to shut up.
No, I'm telling you.
I see his.
I'm
you
telling
don't see his eyes. You don't see his eyes.
We are
I see
running
him.
out of time.
But what do you?
We have actually run out of time.
Why do you like to do that? Well, stop with this hands of business.
We have a certain time frame. Julie, thank you for joining us.
You know, he was a conductor.
Good luck to
That's
you.
why he goes like this.
And this will be on.
That's him.
We'll have people see it a week before your election, so hopefully that'll.
And maybe you'll buy a commercial here, and we'll put it on.
Thanks for the suggestion.
But Julie, thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
We'll be back next week.
Hi, I'm Bob Hillier, and I'm running for mayor here in Surfside Beach. As you know, the slogan of my campaign is residents first. And that's exactly what I want to do. I want to put the residents first. I want to open up the transparency, and I want to get the citizens involved in what's going on in our town. I have a lot of people asking me if I am funding my own campaign. And the answer to that is yes, absolutely. This is an investment that I am willing to make in our town so that we have no special interest or private entities helping us make our decisions. I want to improve the quality of life for everybody, and I want to put the residents first. So with your help, I think that we can do that, and I humbly ask for your vote on November 5th.
P. Reynolds by the Ocean is a restaurant and live performance space with an open jazz jam every Thursday at 6 p.m. Are you looking for something special, something new, something different on the Grand Strand? Great food, cool jazz. You'll find it only at P. Reynolds Jazz Supper Club, located at 1212 North Kings Highway in Myrtle Beach. P. Reynolds by the Ocean, something special in Myrtle Beach.
My name is Angelo Antonucci, and I'd like to welcome you to my restaurant. I've been in Myrtle Beach now for over 30 years, and we are the home of the greatest steaks in the universe. Here at Angelo's, we have a fantastic Italian buffet with your favorite pastas served with meatballs and sausage and delicious gourmet pizzas. But where we really shine is our entrees like our scampi traditional, Alfredo or lemon romano served over linguine, our French pork chops with garlic mashed potatoes, and our twin fillets featuring our signature marsala sauce. It's a great place to enjoy with family and friends, so stop by and see us at our new location at the corner of 24th Avenue South and South Kings Highway. Don't just take my word for it. Come in and try Angelo's, home of the greatest steaks in the universe.
Here at Angelo's. Hey man, I'm on my way to the finest place for everyone to play, where the drinks are cool if the sun is hot, and the Myrtle's Inlet's Marsh Walk.
Enjoy spectacular waterfront dining and live music with breathtaking saltwater marsh views at the Murrells Inlet Marsh Walk. Marsh Walk, where the view, the music, and the fun are always free. Marsh Walk, Highway 17 Business, Waterfront, Murrells Inlet.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a server at Brothers Grill, and as a server here, I like to make sure everybody has amazing service and good fresh food every single day. We serve lunch and dinner from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., our happy hours from 4 to 7, and we're located on 5900 North Kings Highway. Follow us on Facebook at Brothers Grill Myrtle Beach.